Hello and welcome back to Jaws Gaming. Today we're going to be doing a video about the Braithwaite Manor in Red Dead Redemption 2 and comparing it to a real-life manor that I've been to and is in my hometown way back in Georgia, and just comparing kind of the land around it and everything that takes place. So you may remember this initial part as being very familiar, kind of the alleyway of trees, and well, here it is in real life. You know, it's not the same type of trees, obviously, because those giant oak trees don't really grow in Savannah as well as they do in the bayous of Louisiana, despite the land being fairly similar. Just, I don't know, not many of them grow. But you do still have that same alleyway that leads down to an archway. I'll put up on screen here, and the archway is interesting because I thought they would put the name of, put Braithwaite Manor on the top of the archway, which they don't in the game. They have it on a little sign on the side, which I don't really see as typical. I don't know that they would have done that. Most old plantations that have an arch like that, the arch is there to put the name on it. Several of the ones around the South do have it that way. They don't have it on a sign on the side. Now let's move on and let's take a look at the actual manor itself. So here in the gameplay I recorded, this is after the Braithwaite Manor battle. I was actually in the prologue, so like the house is still burnt down. I didn't have a save available that didn't have it burnt down. I didn't want to play through the entire prologue and everything again just to get an image of it, but I did get a screenshot. It's not my screenshot, but it's from the Braithwaite Manor battle. And to compare it to the Wormsloe Plantation House, which is the plantation we're doing, that I'm comparing it to, it's not super similar. Obviously you have the columns. That's about it. Now I did find the real life version of the Braithwaite Manor house, and I'm gonna put it up on screen now. And it's called the Oak Valley Plantation. It actually is in Louisiana, and I thought this was a really cool detail that they would pick it for this. And you can see in the image they do have the big oak trees. Now this was the only image I could really find, but something else that's interesting about the ruins that also connects it to Wormsloe is the Wormsloe plantation actually has ruins of its original plantation when the family first moved there. So I'm gonna put those up, and it's, you know, you don't see a lot of the columns though. You can tell it used to be a house, definitely. It's ruins. I don't believe it was burned down. I believe it was just the family left that area and they went to the old plantation house that you see, that I showed you at the beginning, and that's where they lived from then on. They didn't really take care of the old one. Obviously they didn't need it. Keep in mind that the original house, the one that's in ruins, was made of abbey, which is this type of stone that is very gruff. It's not really good at insulating during wintertime or anything. Not that you would have an issue needing to keep warm in the South or anything. It's just, it's very gruff. You can't lean on the wall because it can be sharp. It's made of shells, really. It's not a very fun or fine type of stone. So I could definitely see why they would leave it. And if you ever go there, just the location of the old plantation where the ruins are is not a great location. Where they moved to afterwards is a lot better. Now, two more things I want to connect. There's the marshes right next to the plantation, and the marshes are beautiful. That's where you see a lot of your wildlife, like alligators. There's even coyotes and all types of different swampy type of wildlife. Marshes are a little different because they do feed into salt water. Now, the Braithwaite Manor is on the Plantations River, which is Rockstar's version of the Mississippi. So it is technically still water that comes in from the ocean, but there's not any marshes nearby, which I thought is interesting because marsh is a very common thing, especially in the Southeast and especially in bayous and swampy areas. I haven't been to Louisiana, but I'm pretty positive they also have marshes in that kind of Mississippi River Delta. Next thing I want to talk about, and this is an important one, so the plantation houses or the workhouses, where during, pre-Civil War the slaves would have lived there, then post-Civil War any sharecroppers or workers would have lived. You can definitely see this in Red Dead Redemption 2. People are still living in these workhouses, especially with the family gone. It's a lot easier. You kind of just have a home. You don't have to worry about sharecropping or anything like that. You can just live there. You have shelter. You're right by the water, so an easy food supply. No one's really going to argue with that. I have an image of one of the workhouses on Wormsloe. Now, the original workhouses are mostly torn down. This one has been kept up through time. And you can just tell when you're visiting it, the inside is pretty crude. It's just a room at the bottom with a fireplace and a dinner table, and then upstairs is kind of a pretty bad and uncomfortable bed. And that's about it. Back then, you know, living simply was all there was. Right outside of the workhouse, there is a kind of workbench area. It's not really shown in the image, but there is like a workbench area where you can work with tools. There's like a mini outhouse. There's, you know, your typical things that you would find at a workhouse like this. And you also see that in Red Dead Redemption 2. You see these kind of working areas and rest areas. It's a pretty standard, well-made version of an actual real-life manor. I'm not saying that Rockstar went and based all of Braithwaite Manor off of Wormsloe. I don't know for sure. I doubt it. There are some similarities, but like I said, the Oak Valley Plantation looks exactly like the Braithwaite Manor, so the basis is probably off of that. And anyway, the whole thing is based off of fiction, so they could have added a ton of things that, while they are historically accurate as far as they would be there in the era, they aren't necessarily copied off of a real plantation. But yeah, this has been an awesome video. This has been one of the most fun videos I've made. It's really cool to be able to connect a place that you've really been to and relate it to something in one of my favorite games. It just really brings the game to life for me in a lot better way. And I'm sure if any of you watching are from the South, or you enjoy the Old South or anything like that, I'm sure you enjoy the game. Just the way it brings the South to life, it makes me feel like I'm back at home, which I miss a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing. Also leave a thumbs up, or if you did not enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. Leave a comment below on, you know, what are your thoughts? What places have you been to? What location in Red Dead Redemption 2 would you like to see next? I'm planning on doing the Gray Manor next, and then maybe Rhodes. And after that, I don't know which location I'm going to do, but this is going to be a series, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.